You know, normally when we talk about manifestos, it's after a person has shot up a school. This time, I'm happy to say the manifesto is being revealed to us before any school shooting happened. In fact, this person has been captured before anything really bad happened, apart from, I suppose, their birth. A 19-year-old, get this, trans man really posting L's lately, gotta say, and a former Colorado Springs student faces an attempted murder charge after repeatedly making threats against various schools in one of the city's largest school districts. You know, legal side of things aside, not a trans man, it's a trans woman. Wait, the source that I heard was trans man. Trans woman? Is it trans woman? Thought it was trans woman. They identify as Lily. Oh, okay, this just came out. Trans woman. Look at the name. Yeah, but sometimes they use the dead name and not like the chosen name. Like it's sometimes I can't tell which one they're referring to. If they say trans male, it's trans woman. But I saw trans man. Okay. Vaush, that's my dead name. Thank you for announcing that to everyone. All right, trans woman. Okay. Well, women are always posting their L's, so the opening still works. Anyway, dispatch noted. Sister made a violent approach. Sister threatened to shoot up a school. Sister has anger issues, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically, they got at this person before anything bad happened. And, you know, I want to paint a picture moving in. This person was definitely, like, politically inclined, but I actually think this is one of the rare cases where you have a politically motivated person for whom the greatest political, like, impetus, you know, the biggest factor is them just being insane. At the scene, deputies spoke with somebody at the door who said that someone inside was very upset and punched holes inside the walls. That person, however, did not immediately let deputies inside. Once inside, deputies noted in the affidavit 2 holes that appeared to be punch marks in the wall. The door to a bedroom was off its hinges and lying beside the opening. Inside a bedroom, deputies found RP's sister in a bed. The sister identified herself as Lily, but further investigation determined her birth name was William Whitworth. Okay, there we go. I saw the other way where somebody said trans man named William Whitworth, so I thought, okay, right, yeah. The affidavit refers to Whitworth as Lily and uses she, her pronouns. Okay, so we have a woke affidavit here referring to a trans woman by she, her pronouns. We got it. Okay. While speaking with Lily, deputies noted she appeared to be very drowsy and could not stay awake. She would answer questions with her eyes closed. When asked if she was going to shoot up a school, the affidavit states Lily visibly shook her head up and down, indicating yes. When asked why she'd do that, Lily stated why anyone does it. Making things easy for the DA, I guess, you know? According to the affidavit, Whitworth said the last school she attended was Timberview Middle School in District 20. When asked if that was the school she was going to shoot up, Lily again nodded yes. When asked why that school, Lily stated no specific reason. We're demonstrating so jokes aside, we're demonstrating tendencies that are associated with legitimate mental illness. I don't know if anybody has seen the JCS YouTube series where a guy with a nice voice talks about the behavior of arrested criminals or suspected criminals. And there's one that the JCS people did on a person who legitimately got mental illness defense, or like the like pled insanity, and it worked. And they acted kind of like this, where basically like it was like they did a shooting and they were just like, I don't know, yeah, whatever, like I did it, I guess. Yeah, he was like an NPC basically, the JCS in that episode. Anyway, it reminds me a lot of that. During the initial interview or interaction with Lily, deputies noted she made suicidal statements. According to the affidavit, Lily also said she was a little drunk and swayed back and forth while walking down the hallway out of the bedroom. While waiting for the fire department, Lily was asked how much she had been planning the school shooting. She stated she was about 1/3 of the way from doing it, verifying again that Timberview Middle School was one of the main targets currently and other targets were churches. Lily stated she'd been planning. Why would you use she, her pronouns, but go with the dead name? What? That doesn't make any sense. That's just confusing. Lily stated she'd been planning it for a month or two, stated the layout of the school, active firearm planning, and started a manifesto. You know, as one does. Wait, that's her last name? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Because her first and her first dead name and her last name are the same letter, right? Yeah, cause William. Yeah, okay. I just remembered W, but no W's were taken. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Whitworth then. I hate the name Whitworth. You sound like a 19th century writer. Yeah, yeah. Listen, okay. Could have taken a W instead. Big L's. Lily for L. Okay. I mean, we'll see. Anyway. Oh god. Oh, we only get to be this jovial right now because the shooting didn't happen, all right? Whitworth stated she'd been planning it for a month or two, stayed late at school. According to the affidavit, investigators found the manifesto, a dry erase board with floor plans and a list of names in a notebook. Whitworth said the manifesto was 4 pages long and had, quote, schizophrenic rants on them. However, the affidavit states when deputies asked if she was schizophrenic, she replied, I hope not. Oh my God, it's Twitter. It's Twitter, but it's happening in real life in an affidavit. It's crazy. According to the affidavit, Whitworth was asked how much she knew about school shootings, and she stated too much. When asked what she meant by that, Whitworth stated, there's a page in my manifesto and there's a bunch of mass killers. Really making it easy for the DA here, I gotta say. Contributes to the insanity thing in my mind. Like, the cops show up and you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, literally. Like, here, I'm just gonna spend 3 hours explaining. No shot, she wasn't on TTTT. 100% she was on TTTT, okay? This is a TTTT cell, all right? She knows all of the degrading, euphemisms that they use for themselves. There's no question about it. If you don't know, you don't know. On a dry erase board, investigators noted it looked like a labeled floor plan of a school with labels identifying the office, bathrooms, classrooms, and the different levels. In 2 different notebooks, deputies found more floor plans, a drawing of a clock to use as a detonation device stating, remove clock internals and drive a screw into the desired destination time of the face of the clock. And is that what they meant when they said making a mockery of the massacre? Just actual schizo posting. Whitmore stated... Whitmore? Isn't the name Whitworth? Typo spotted? As if I'm not confused enough already. Honestly. If you watched a YouTube video, great, okay? Deputies obtained a search warrant of the home and found the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels and more books with notes. Written inside one book had Ways I Want to Die, with a list stating murder, burning alive, freezing, and drowning. So yeah, like, pretty clear there. Truly the deranged ramblings of a schizo. Like, found scrawled inside the margins of the Communist Manifesto, as a sub 3 hand cell gigahon, gigahon. There's no hope left for me. Whatever, I don't know. Whatever crazy shit. The manifesto contained a couple of things, including, and let's just skip to the part, okay? According to the affidavit, one of the notebooks also had a list of various mass shooters, serial killers, politicians, and entertainers with commentary on each. Below is how the names were listed in the affidavit. Eric and Dylan, losers. Adam Lanza, too smart, except with only 1 O. Israel Keys, degenerate. Lauren Southern, pathetic. Vaush, terrorist. Donald J. Trump, con ma'am. Bad cops, useless garbage. Stockholm name Liam K. Bonds at 75 grand. So that is insane. Yes, this is actually an insane person, like a mentally ill individual, which you can tell because she doesn't like me. I've always said disliking me is a mental illness, and hey, here we go. Vaush spotted. It's very funny to me because, this is like politics YouTuber, Nightmare Fuel, right? It's showing up in a manifesto. Now, some people are used to it. Basically, every, like, major right-wing commentator at this point has showed up in somebody's manifesto. So they've gotten it out of the way, But for me, I'm thinking, oh, wow. Because I hear the news earlier today. I hear, oh, wow. Trans would-be school shooter drops me. Turns out they hate me. Exonerated. It's very funny to me because a lot of people have tried to say that I'm a stochastic terrorist for saying that trans people and people on the left broadly should exercise their legal Second Amendment right to purchase firearms and defend themselves in case we ever have so much social instability in this country that an open attack, like a broad, social unrest, the substations getting shot, power goes out, right-wing groups run through cities with trucks and shoot people, that kind of crap. That you should be able to exercise your constitutional right to defend yourself in such a situation. People have said for that I'm a stochastic terrorist, as libs and cucks are wont to do. And what's funny to me is that I finally get a listing here, and the listing here actually indicates that this lunatic agrees with them. Like, you could say, the belief that Vaush is promoting stochastic terrorism is itself actually a motivator for stochastic terror. Yeah, no, it's like, oh, hey, right around corner, huh? Now, I actually do think this person's main motivator is just being a psychopath. If I had to guess, praising Adam Lanza, like the Sandy Hook shooter, like I really think that mental illness is just the main, it like that, like way more so, than anything else. Though it is very funny to be like the only, I guess it's just me and Lauren Southern there that are like the internet people listed there, right? Like there are mass murderers, Lauren Southern and myself, Donald Trump. If anything, the first two guys on the list are the Columbine guys. I think Israel Keys, being called a degenerate here, by the way. Was he like a cannibal? He was like a weird mass killer, right? Something like that. Serial killer? Okay, yeah, yeah. Calling Trump a con man or con ma'am in this case, woke, it kind of strikes to me as like a far right thing to do. Because usually when you're on the left and you attack Trump, there's a lot to get him on. But when the right attacks Trump and calls him a con man, every time I hear that, it's from a Nazi who thinks he's sold out white people to like Jews or whatever. So maybe she's far. I personally, I just think she's mentally ill. Why were the column guys described as losers? I don't know. I just think she's crazy. I just think she's crazy. I genuinely think that's the main thing. I think that any political ideology could bounce off the inside of the skull of somebody like that and could have served with equal credence as a motivator for bad behavior. I don't think it goes beyond that. So evident mental illness. In which case, this is one of the rare examples that everything worked out the way it was supposed to. She's crazy. She was planning a shooting. Cops showed up. Kablamo. Got an arrest. Okay, yeah. That's the system working as it's supposed to. Personally, I think the best time for police to get involved in a school shooting is before it happens. That's about as good of an outcome as you can get outside of, not having school shooters. But we're in America, so that's not not really an option for us, I don't think. Betty Journos reached out to you? No, and nobody's going to. Being listed in an affidavit doesn't involve me in any meaningful way. How the cops find out about the manifesto? This story is still breaking. This only just happened. I don't know the details. We probably never will. A lot of this stuff just stays kind of locked up, especially since no murders were actually committed. It doesn't get the kind of national attention that forces police to do this open book crap. Personally, I don't really care. My guess in naming me specifically and calling me a terrorist, probably motivated by some people on the right, or some people who are on the right but pretend not to be, who think that what I've said is pro-stochastic, like the whole self-defense thing, that's stochastic terrorism. But again, like it's all bouncing off the skull up here. How do you reconcile consistently the political ideology of a person who praises the Sandy Hook shooter, but then thinks it's bad to advocate for self-defense? You can't make sense of it. Don't even try. These ideological readings should usually be reserved for people whose brains aren't actual soup. Still, I can't get over how funny it is that after all the screeching I had to listen to after the Nashville shooting about how because a person was trans, that must mean they're on the left and they must be a fan of Vaush, and the reason they shot up the school must have been because Vaush advocated for self-defense against far-right domestic terrorists, which somehow translates to a school shooting. But whatever it is, Vaush is responsible. It's his fault. And then I finally get a manifesto listing, and it's a person who agrees with the people who are calling me a terrorist for believing in self-defense. It's funny. We'll see if the Hale manifesto ever comes out. But as I've said before, I really don't think. I feel like Hale's mostly, for me, the Hale thing seems apolitical is not the right term, but it seems to me like it would have been him attacking the school because of some like mental illness / emotional connection with the school because he went there beforehand. Generally speaking, political radicals who do a shooting to make a political statement don't choose children and their own previous school. That's not like that's not normally how that usually the school shooting thing is a more deeply mentally ill direction to take a shooting. General statement, not true in all cases, but it seems to be a pattern. Can you make a screen cap montage of all the MFs who accused you of inspiring a mass shooting? No, and I don't want to. I don't want to engage and give them that much attention because, first of all, it is just a way of getting my attention. Okay, people love my attention. They love my pearly blues. They want to look into them. That's one. For two, my statements stand on their own. I am unimpeachably correct on this. Every statement that I've made with regards to the tendencies of the GOP moving towards genocidal rhetoric and lawmaking have been proven true, and the things that I have advocated for are not only fully within the bounds of our legal and constitutional rights, and are certainly our moral rights, but are also less extreme than self-defense statements that are made regularly by people all across the political spectrum. The far right does this whole we have to defend ourselves and take our country back, wink wink nudge nudge shit anytime a trans person walks within 1,000 feet of a school. And I guess the liberals tend to hate guns. They tend not to make any statements about self-defense other than piss and shit yourself when people with guns approach you to ward them off with a smell. I mean, Destiny has said that he would shoot somebody for stealing his sandwich. I don't know to what extent we're on the hook for enabling stand your ground defense bullshit. Every Floridian DGGer is out here with their AR-15 starting gunfights over people stealing the rinds of the sandwich they left in the cafe table. Yeah, so it's really stupid. I don't feel a need to dignify these claims. If people are terrified of what I have to say with regards to the right to self-defense, it's because they don't want you to defend yourselves when they kill you. And I think they're wrong for that. I don't agree with their logic on that one. I think that's bad of them. Hey, it could be a really good sandwich. It could be a really good sandwich.